Hi everybody, and welcome to the channel about kit cars and other car topics. If you like what you see, please subscribe and share with others on social media. So I'm sitting here with my friend Erik. You originally met Erik when we were actually starting the engine on the 33 for the first time. He was going for the fire extinguisher because safety is first. And so Erik just recently got a Jeep. He's owned a few Jeeps over the years, and I figured it'd be kind of cool to bring something a little bit different for the channel since we're going to do some upgrades on it. And tell me a little bit about, what you got and why and what's happening.
Well, I decided it was time to get back into the Jeep business, so I got a Jeep that comes stock with a lot of upgrades that Jeep hasn't normally done in the past, bigger tires and that kind of stuff. And having owned 4 Jeeps, I knew exactly, because owning a Jeep is all about the aftermarket stuff, right? Everyone buys a Jeep and then starts jamming stuff onto it.
Right.
So since this is, I've had a few Jeeps, I knew exactly what I wanted to do with it in terms of stuff that was going to go on it, and decided when I got it right up front, I'm not going to spend time messing around. I'm just going to get it all and put it on the Jeep right up front.
Now, from my experience being an outsider, it seems like they have a huge aftermarket situation going on, but it seems like Chrysler or Jeep has never actually partaken in that, and this is like one of the first few models that's really taken it all the way for a nice full base model, if you will.
So what I'll say about Jeep is, compared to the first Jeep I bought many moons ago, this is built to modify, right? Back when they first built Jeeps, it was, they had the custom fit things that only Jeep could make to put stuff on, whereas now you can tell just by like holes for wiring in the engine bay, right, where they actually have purposely made stuff easy to add stuff on the Jeep because that's all Jeep buyers do.
Right.
So they do offer some some specialized stuff to add on to it with the accessories and whatnot, but man, the market for aftermarket stuff for Jeeps is ridiculous. You could spend weeks looking at bumpers and that kind of stuff. So unless you know exactly what you want, you're going to get inundated by information.
So what exact model is this that is all upgraded?
This is the Jeep High Tide. So this was the only model that had the combination of a bigger motor, what they call the tactical recon package, the 35-inch tires, and the 456 axle already baked into the design. Whereas any other version of the Jeep, the 35-inch tires could be an option to put on, but you didn't necessarily get the 456 axle or the bigger motor that came with that. So this kind of had all the pieces and parts. Unfortunately, High Tide was a very limited run. I think the guys told me they only made 1,000 of them.
Okay.
So it was very difficult to get my hands on this thing in this market, right? You show up at a dealership and most of the cars are already spoken for. So
right.
I actually called while this thing was en route from the factory and secured it with a down payment while it was en route.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we're going to put on some extra stuff today and then kind of maybe take a tour.
Yep, we're going to put on some LED lights because every Jeep needs lots of lights.
Right.
And then some step bar / rock sliders to replace the stock ones that came on this one.
Okay. Well, let's hop to it.
Right on.
Beep, 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 beep.
That's a lot of lumens.
Yeah.
Call that a successful
Step 1.
yeah.
Approved. Now you want to jump up and down on it. You're putting footprints on my camera work here. Today we're back at Erik's working on the Jeep, and we're going to switch out the hood, and we're also going to be doing some modifications to the lights that we added on last time. So we are going to do those modifications here on a table and then figure out what we need to do to get it back on the truck. Alright. Moment of truth. Okay, so this, when I tightened it up, crushed through this bead, and it's happening here, and this is higher up for whatever reason on this bead, so I'll let you tighten that. I don't know, it's tight, but it's not tight.
Okay.
These are tight, that's tight. Anything else?
Nope. So we just set it back down. Right on here. Sure is.
I do like the red on the inside of the grill. That's cool. So what does it do?
By heating it up, the adhesive sticks better.
Huh. Your windshield doesn't fold down, does it?
It does. But I will never do that now with this new hood. And honestly, in the 4 Jeeps that I've owned for the total of 10, 12 years, I think I put the windshield down once and went, yeah, okay, that sucks. Not doing that again.
Right. All right, Eric, now that we got all the modifications done, why don't you tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind this vehicle?
So this is a 2022 High Tide. Jeep only made 1,000 of them, and they're not going to make any more. The key features with that, which is what attracted me to the Jeep, was it came with a 35-inch tire package with a suspension lift and with a 456 axle built into it, because I was going to end up doing that anyways. If I bought a Jeep, I was going to put 35-inch tires on it, so obviously you pay a premium for that with having the dealer do it or the OEM do it, but it was all put together nicely in my opinion. Because I only made 1,000 of these, it was really difficult to get my hands on one, but when I finally did, I was pretty happy with it. It also comes with reinforced glass on the windshield and a standard hard top, but it's color matched to the body as opposed to the black stuff. Some of the other stuff that comes with this package, it has the nav system with a wider 8-inch touchscreen for the center console fuel and 8-speed transmission. So all those things put together, it was attractive to me to have something already put together where I wouldn't have to do a bunch of aftermarket work to get it with the bigger tires and that kind of stuff. So that turned out well. Some of the big things that I ended up doing to it. So I've owned several Jeeps before, so I knew exactly what I wanted to do to it when I bought it. So first thing was, see all the red accents around. I got red grill inserts on the front here. And then you and I just got done putting on this hood, the DV8 hood with the red inserts on the side. So that hood comes unpainted. So I had to take it down to a body shop in town and have them match the color and paint that for me. And also paint the, these are just stick-ons on the side. So you could have these any color that you wanted to. They don't necessarily have to match the rest of the hood. But the nice thing about this is it's basically built to go straight into the Jeep. So you just need to remove some of the pieces and parts that come on the stock hood and put them onto this, and that went pretty quick from what we saw this morning. Some of the other things that I did, I put the windshield braces on here for the light bar. So I had you and I put on this light bar, what, a week, 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And one thing that's a known issue with having light bars, because of the space right here between the light bar and the body of the Jeep, that it howls at highway speeds and you can really hear it. So Z Roads, I think, is the name of the company that makes this bar that you rivet onto the bottom of here. And what that does is it disturbs the airflow so that it doesn't howl anymore. So I haven't tried it out yet. We just riveted this on today. So I'm going to go take this out today and ops check it and see how that works out.
But you did take a trip in the last week, and
I did without this on there, and it was very loud.
Yeah.
And the other part the other issue I had that you and I fixed today was on the inside of these supports here, that bolt just straight into the standard bolt slots on the Jeep hood. They have this foam that has a sticky backing that they put on the insides here, so that when it contacts the body of the Jeep, it won't scratch it. The problem is that foam got itself detached from the frame, so at highway speeds, these little slivers of foam in here would vibrate at extremely high frequency, and it made this really staticky, loud sound that was worse than the howl by a factor of 10. So had to reapply some glue on those to get those to stand solid. So,
and some people might be like, oh, it's no big deal, but when you're talking about an 8-hour round trip,
dude, it was a 4-hour drive for us, and by the time we were done, we were ready to not have that sound.
Right.
So one of the other things that I did, I got these. So this year model Jeep comes with the vent grills right here, and then the whole body is kind of inset in here. And Orca Lighting makes this basically it's just a paste on to that gap, if you will, where the body kind of the sheet metal indents in. And it's a dome light, so it's connected to your dome light. So if you open the door, you can see that shines down where the side of the door is on the Jeep. And then also when the Jeep is running or you're on the highway, that also has a yellow turn signal. Those are LEDs, so it does a yellow flash, which is kind of nice.
Nice.
That was a bit of a work or a bit of a job getting it in there, because you got to pull the inner wheel liners, the fender wheel liners inside out to be able to access this area where the wires go. And then if you want it connected to your dome lights, you got to run the wire through the firewall to this side on the inside of the Jeep to access the dome lights. And they give you these real easy snap-on gator attachments to the existing wire. So that was easy. Just getting the wires everywhere was a bit of a hassle. These are not easy to get out. Anyone who's done this on stock Jeeps knows that the Christmas tree rivets that they fix these with are not easy to get off. So having the right tools makes a huge difference for that. Also got some a theme throughout the whole Jeep, the American flag. I got some really nice polished chrome flag. There's one on the other side of the Jeep as well, and that flag theme kind of carries through. So I bought some door sills for the door for both the front, for the driver and the passenger. These are still a little bit dirty from washing it, and those are just stick-ons. That's not really anything fancy. And then I knew I wanted red accents, so I got the neoprene seat covers. I've had these before in a previous Jeep, and I really like them. They're really sturdy, and they fit snugly and well, and they actually add a little bit of cushion to the seat, so it makes it nice and comfortable. And then some metal. And these are literally just, you peel off the back of an adhesive that's already on there and you just slap them right on. So they were perfectly fit when I got them, just to slide them right on. And then the center console, I got a leather cover just to have something a little bit more protective on there. That way we can get in and out of the Jeep completely dirty and not have to worry about messing up the interior. Now with this model Jeep, it doesn't come with leather. It's actually cloth fabric seats. So that was another reason I wanted to make it easier for me to protect that with the seat covers there. So And then the same thing with the back seat. Have same kind of seat covers there with the 60/40 split bench in the back. This model doesn't have the fold down armrest in the center, so the other versions of the Jeep do, but it has cup holders and all that kind of stuff. And I don't really care what's back there for those.
Right.
Aftermarket handles to get in and out, although Jeep has already added that. So the years past, they never had that in both the front or the back, so that is kind of nice. This seems like an extra appendage, if you will, but out of habit, I just put them in there anyways, just to help getting in and out, because it's a little bit awkward based on the way the angle is of getting out in the back seat. It's nicer to have the handle right there to help you thrust yourself in. So put on some rock slider / steps. You and I did that a couple weeks ago when I first got it. So that was a really easy mod, right? It was just those big 4 bolts on the bottom and a couple of bolts on the side, and went right on. Fits like a glove. It works out great. So they have different colors. I obviously picked the red here to match with the other red accents in the Jeep. American flag gas cover. Not too much custom stuff back here, just your standard mat for the back, so that's got holes so that you can still use the tie downs. I did get these, it's hard to see in the sunlight, but I got these buckets that err on my part. When you order them, that won't fit on this side if you got a stock subwoofer, which is what came with this upgraded audio system and stuff. So I have one of those that I can't use because it won't fit on this side. And those are easy. They just bolt right onto the bolts for the hard top. So it's a piece of cake to get those in there.
Nice. And you added the fire extinguisher?
I did. Just a standard Velcro strap, and then an automotive fire extinguisher in the back.
They do kind of an interesting texture on the inside paint.
Yeah, so one of the things that happens with this model Jeep, you see this right here, it's an insulation, some sound, mostly thermal, and you can kind of see them in the front too. They call them headliners. So in times past, Jeeps would never have this. It would just be like this throughout. So this kind of helps deaden the highway sounds a little bit.
Okay.
Of course, with that, that bar out front without that spoiler on there,
Right.
You're not hearing the highway sounds, you're just hearing the howl of that. So.
Right.
I have not yet done anything with the front or the back bumpers. That's something that's still TBD. I have a bumper en route for the front. It's a stubby bumper that'll put a winch on. One nice thing about this, I forgot to mention, is right here in this model Jeep, it comes with the trailer package that has the auxiliary wiring already stubbed out for you in the engine bay. So when you add that light bar or a winch on the front or other lights, it's simply a matter of just open up the hood, find where those wires are stubbed out, and you tap right into them. So there's you don't have to install switches or stuff like that, which is really, really nice, right?
Nice.
That's usually a hassle doing that by yourself aftermarket. That's pretty much it. This, like I said, this is going to come off, and I'll have a stubby bumper that goes from here to here with a winch hoop, and then a winch in the middle, and a couple of tabs.
So this will be wide open right here?
Yep.
Okay.
And they usually do that for when you're doing like off-roading with rocks and stuff. This might get in the way, so you leave that avenue open.
So I noticed that there's lights built in here, and then you bought some aftermarket lights.
Yep.
When you get the new bumper, there's no lights with it, so you're using the other lights and replacing these?
I'm not. These are going to get orphaned with the bumper. So when I take this bumper off and get rid of it, they'll stay with this. The other light, other bumper that I'm getting has tabs, and I had some LED beams that were on top of the hood that I took off because I'm going to mount them right here on the front of the bumper. And the reason for those are when you're up in the mountains, you point these out about 20 degrees off to the right and left of the front of the Jeep. That way, when you're driving at dusk or in the evenings, you can see the elk and the deer at a good distance out if those lights are pointed out towards the side where the trees are.
Okay.
On some of the mountain roads.
If you see some eyeball reflections, you know what's going on.
Actually, I did that. So last weekend when we drove up to the mountains, I saw probably 24 elk on the left side of the road. It was about, 8, 9 o'clock at night, so it was dark. And first thing we saw was all these eyes reflecting back at us about a half mile out. It was pretty cool.
Nice.
A couple Jeeps ago, I used to replace this. I kind of like this, the way it has the integrated LEDs. These are upgraded lights that come with the model, so it has LED headlights and LED lamps here that I like a lot. I probably won't get rid of those. I'll probably keep those as is. But like I mentioned before, it comes with the upgraded suspension and the suspension lift in this model Jeep. So people don't realize when you buy a Jeep, usually people want to put bigger tires on. But the problem with doing that is you buy bigger tires, you have to do a suspension lift, you have to have a bigger motor, which this has a 3.6 V6 motor, which is, in my opinion, necessary for tires that big, plus the axle ratio that we talked about. All those things kind of add up, with that being a lot of work, whereas if you can just buy it with everything already done like that, if you can afford to do that, it's really, really a convenient way to get what you want out of it. So,
Nice.
yeah. So this is pretty much it, except for the front bumper. This is kind of, when I got this, I knew exactly what I wanted to put on it because I've had Jeeps for so long. So it was just a matter of, you know, you and I spending the last couple of weekends.
Yeah, and you only got this like 2.5 weeks ago,
Yeah,
so like
yeah.
you were already focused and knew what you wanted,
Yeah,
and then we just came in and banged it out.
I had no desire to play with my food. I knew exactly what I wanted to get, didn't want to wait. I just want to get everything on there so that I'm done doing upgrades right off the bat.
Nice.
So it worked out well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what's the gear ratios like on a vehicle like this? 2 high, 4 high, 4 low?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, 2 high, 4 high, and 4 low. Okay. So I rarely ever use 4 low with something like this, but 4 high all the time up in the mountains in the wintertime. So let's turn this down so we can hear the wind noise. There's something. That is a lot better than what it used to be. What you're hearing is just hard top noise.
Okay. The whistle.
Might be some of it from the sides here.
I almost clipped a hawk on the way over.
Really?
Yeah, he like went flying right by my windshield.
Oh yeah. That makes a huge difference. All that sound is just hard top sound. It's not your Lexus, but
I'm impressed. It's almost like the
we can actually have
snake.
a
Rattlesnake.
Is it a rattle?
Clouds are looking amazing.
I like it.
Well, I appreciate your time, and we'll hit you back on the front bumper and winch and see how that all goes.
Right on. Yeah, I'm gonna need some help putting this thing on.
Nonchalantly.
Yeah.